What's going on, guys? So this video is actually not related to opening any certain product, but actually talking about Pokemon as an investment and where I think the market's going. There's a lot of people I've noticed recently touching base on this, and I think it's great because I think we get so deeply involved in the hobby that we forget how to explain the hobby to other people that potentially might want to join us and jump in on the action. Um, so just to start, there are sets released, and they've been released every year. There's new Pokemon always coming out. Where do you go? It's overwhelming. There's so much product constantly being pumped out by Pokemon. So for me, I grew up in the 90s. I was born in 1994. So I wanted to start with the booster boxes up here and then all these booster boxes over here. That's where I wanted to go. And that didn't, right now, the price of a booster box, from the old days, they have gone up substantially. It used to be a couple years ago you could get a booster box for $500. Now that same booster box could be $20,000. So there's a lot of money. A lot of people think it's a bubble. I don't think it's a bubble because it's not something that's going to increase in supply again. It is only going to get worse in terms of supply. There's going to be less and less and less of it, and more demand for these products, for these sealed products in the market. So in terms of all the newer sets out right now, and in terms of the cards that have been out, all the old-fashioned cards, you've got cards from Gen 2 like this Sudowoodo. And you've got cards, from the new release. Let's see, this is a Golduck, and that's a Jigglypuff. These are from the new sets, but examples of the Gen 1 Pokemon, basically reprinted in these new sets. And there are other Pokemon as well. Take this Flabebe, for example. Newer Pokemon that are being added to these sets and added to the game overall. So what I would recommend in terms of investing, let's cut straight to it. What I would recommend in terms of investing, there's a company called PSA Grading, and they grade cards. So you pay a premium to send your card into them, and they give you a grading. And then once it has that grading, even if it's a low grading, you're most likely still going to get the value of that PSA graded cost. I think the first cost is about $50, up to $1,000 in value. So for some common cards, no one's going to really want to buy your PSA graded common cards. There are exceptions, like in the original base set, first edition, and base set unlimited, and Jungle first edition, Fossil first edition, and then Jungle Unlimited and Fossil Unlimited, and Rocket first edition and Rocket Unlimited. And all those booster boxes in the old days, 1999, early 2000s, those boxes, even those common cards could be graded and fetch a high value. But today, it's really more of the holographic cards and the rares in the set. Now, how do you know if it's a rare in the set? This has not changed with Pokemon for a long time. Now, the placement has changed, but this has not changed. So at the bottom of your card, you have this little black dot here. It's a circle. Well, there's also a version of it that's a diamond. And then there's a version that's a star. So they have that on this side now, or if it's facing me, on this side instead of this side. But it tells you if you have a common, uncommon, or a rare. And there's variants of it now. So now you have your holographic rare, where the card is shiny on the inside of the card. Now this isn't a great example. I didn't really have examples ready. You know what? I have reverse hollows in here ready to go. Perfect. We've got our Heracross. So you've got your full art holographic cards in here. This is Rayquaza. And I guess that's an ultra rare. And then you've got your reverse rares, which are, instead of the card being holographic on the inside, that was a full art. But typical holographic cards will have the picture holographic. not the outside of the card and on the card. So this is a reverse holo where it's surrounding the card. And then we've got another full art here from the Celebrations ETB. And so you have different levels of rarity in these cards, and now you have different types of holographics in these cards. You've got V's and VMAX and alternate art and full art and alternate full art VMAX. There are so many things that it could be very overwhelming for someone new to the hobby. Here's what I suggest. I suggest that you, like me, don't go out and start buying boxes and buying all this stuff in the stores. Don't do that yet. First, start with the beginning cards if you want value as an investment. Start with the beginning cards and hand pick them. Look up, base set. Look up the base set 2. Look up Fossil, Jungle. Look up the original booster boxes that came out 99 to early 2000s and track down those holographic shiny cards. Track those down. And you don't necessarily have to track them all down. I didn't. I tracked down mainly the ones that I liked, that I thought were cool. You can look through the sets and pick the ones that you like, or you can look at values. Some people like the cards for the art. Some people like them solely because of what they're worth. I'm a little bit of both. But one thing is for sure, I definitely value the older cards a lot more than the newer cards. Now, there have been some really cool releases. Like, take for example, I don't really want to do this, but I got this out of the Ultra Premium Collections box. This is the gold card Charizard. There's also a, I guess you could call it a reverse holo in a way. Or no, the whole thing is holo, never mind. And it also comes with a Pikachu that's like that too. But this is what a typical holo will look like. So this is the Charizard from the 25th anniversary ETB. In my opinion, this is the best thing you can invest in. Literally, this card right here, the Celebrations Charizard, I do not benefit from telling people to invest in this. I'll be going for these. I'll be trying to stack these up in my collection. Not even graded versions. Just buying as many Charizards as I can get my hands on. And later on, if I want to, I can grade them. Especially if there's a lot of upside. $50 a card for potentially $1,000 worth in value. If I buy a bunch of these and sit on them. Sounds like a great idea to me from an investment standpoint. But the older cards are going to retain the most value. There will not be value retained the way the oldest cards have retained their value. That is because the supply is just so scarce right now. I'd be surprised if there's 10,000 sealed boxes, booster boxes out there. All the big YouTubers and big influencers, they're buying up everything that's available. So you're having a really hard time getting this stuff. But what you don't have a hard time getting or getting ripped off or scammed on are the lower ticket items, the holographic cards in each set. First editions, you're going to get taxed on. PSA graded cards, you're going to get taxed on. Anything that's still in the box that's sealed packs, you're going to get super taxed on that. But you can find single cards and buy them and get good deals on them. I did a collections video where I showed all my cards. A lot of those cards I got for less than $100. There were very few of them that I got $200 or $300 or $400. And that was pretty much the max at what I was willing to spend on a piece of cardboard that's shiny. I mean, when you think about it, that's essentially what it is. Yes, it's Pokemon, but you have to think rationally. Anyways, so here's what I would propose you to do as an investor. This is my personal opinion. If you like the newer cards and you want to collect the newer sets and go after those first, great. They're here, they're on the market, they're easily available. There's not as much fraudulent product out there for the newer stuff because it's fresh and there's a large supply of it. But here's the caveat to that. The supply of the older stuff is going to go down and down and down and down. And eventually you won't be able to just jump into that. The supply for this newer stuff, it will get more expensive. In my opinion, everything that you keep that's sealed, all these booster boxes I have that I keep that are sealed, they will go up in value tremendously. But that doesn't mean that I have to rush to get them right now. There's going to be plenty of them. They're the next 3 years, there's going to be plenty of these. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think Pokemon was prepared at overproducing and oversupplying this past year. I've seen stuff everywhere. It was hard to find some stuff, but for the most part, now I'm finding more stores, more game shops, and I'm seeing, okay, there's more stuff than I had previously thought. Especially the shop I recently found in Charlotte for booster boxes. They're charging $150, and I'm okay to pay that. I see them on eBay for $90, $100, but it's worth it for me to be able to walk in, know that they get it from an authorized distributor, and directly from Pokemon, and pay that little bit of premium as an investment. Because if it's $150 now and I think it's going to be $1,500 in 3 years, then that's perfectly fine with me to 10 times my money by paying a slight premium now. You have to be careful bidding on eBay on these booster boxes. You really do. There's a lot of people getting scammed on them. I have a couple from eBay myself that I'm yet to open up. Everything that I've gotten from the store, I plan on keeping on this shelf and pretty much not opening it, because I think that the value will go up, and because honestly I like having some of the sealed products over opening all that stuff up. It's the hunt for me is really also not just the luck of drawing the card. That's very special. It is. It shouldn't be discounted, because it is a very special feeling when you pull a holographic like this out of an ETB or a box. It brings all the feels back. I know when my wife and me pulled this Charizard, I was just jumping with joy. It was great. But it's very easy to find that card. So since pulling that card, I got more aggressive with opening stuff up, and I opened another Celebrations ETB, and I opened an Ultra Premium Celebrations box. Not for the gold cards. I did that because I was hoping I could get a Charizard out of that box and pull a very valuable card for less than what I spent. Now the Ultra Premium Collection box, I have one behind me right here. In fact, it's this wide box right here. That I got 3 of those. I got a deal 180 piece on 3 of them inside of a case. There was only 1 missing, and I'm guessing the guy, the father, whose sons wanted those, the father who sold me these other 3 kept 1 just to see, which is a good idea because they will go up in value. But yeah, I opened $180 worth of stuff, and I have the gold cards. They could be worth a lot graded down the road, but mainly I wanted to pull that Charizard and I didn't. So you can end up spending hundreds of dollars trying to pull the right card, when really you can go online right now and you can bid on legit mint condition Charizards for, I think, $100, $80 to $100. I think it's a great investment. I don't need to prop up the market. I will keep buying stuff regardless, and I believe in it now. There's been a lot of my friends and family that have second-guessed, that have second-guessed and questioned the nature of this hobby and collecting and as an investment. And I think that's completely a rational viewpoint. But from someone who's started making sales and now building a business out of this, I can tell you this stuff is hot. I put up a theme deck recently. I think I purchased it around $200 or $180 maybe a year and a half ago, and I sold it just maybe a week or 2 ago. I sold it for $411. I doubled my money within a year. Now, I'm trying to do that with the stock market. I'm taking a major loss with my investment being mostly in QuantumScape, but I've diversified with Pokemon, and Pokemon has, oddly enough, or to some it wouldn't be odd, but to me, coming back into the hobby after years and years of kind of, forgetting about it, coming back into this hobby, trading cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Digimon, it's been refreshing for the nostalgia, but also for the value. To see the value of these cards just skyrocket up in the past couple years is insane. I missed a great opportunity to dive into it, 3 or 4 years ago. I could have gotten booster boxes. I remember just looking and dabbling and seeing boxes for $500, $600, $1,000 and thinking, God, that's so ridiculous. And now they're $20,000. So what do you think $20,000 for a box is going to look like in 50 years when they're no longer around? probably going to be upwards of 100,000, 150, 200,000. And I'm talking about the unlimited boxes, not the first edition boxes. The unlimited boxes are going to be going for that. And you can mark this, you can save this video and go back to it, because that is likely going to happen. I don't think we're in a bubble where everything is going to come back down. But that's my opinion. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. Now, in terms of the older cards, I think you want mainly Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur. Those are the big ones that you want. If you can find them for $100 a piece, that's really good. For Charizard, I'd say 150 in decent condition, maybe with some edge wear on the back of the card. But the nice thing about the newer sets, specifically I'm speaking about Celebrations, is that you can get a Charizard and get a PSA 10 and get Blastoise and Venusaur. They're quite common in this set. I haven't gotten them, so I ended up buying them individually. But you can get such a nice card out of these boxes. And if you want to hunt, if you want to go that route, this is the way to go. Now, I've opened a lot of packs so far, just within the short period that this channel has been up and running. I've opened a lot of packs, and I gotta say, for me coming into the game, there's a lot of cards that I don't care for, and it's daunting to think about opening any more of my stuff, to think about opening all of these packs that are on the display I have hanging. It's daunting because you're not always going to get that nostalgic old vintage style card that you're hoping for. You get something new that you don't even know the name of, and for me, that just kind of takes a little bit away. When I'm in a better position financially, maybe I'll open more and more stuff on the page, but I've been opening a lot of stuff lately, and I think there's just more value in getting a lot of these cards in singles, and a lot of people will agree with me on that. My luck is not amazing. I lucked out with this Rayquaza V, I'd say, and I lucked out with this Charizard. I'd say these are two of my best pulls that I've had yet. Two of my favorite pulls for sure. But for the most part, I think you can buy these as singles, and so that's what I'm going to be doing moving forward. If you know about TCA Gaming, he's very well established in the Pokemon community. There's Frosted Caribou, Breaking Nate, Leonhardt, PokeRev. I idolize some of these other YouTubers. I look up to them. I'm inspired by the editing and the content that they do and the amount of time they put into it, and their insane enthusiasm. I mean, some of them are really enthusiastic about it, and I totally get that. But I really like how TCA Gaming, to go back to his channel, I like how he talks about these Celebrations Charizards and how he's opened 1,000 of these packs pretty much to get one Charizard. I think he said that. Don't quote me on that. But he said basically I'm going to be going on eBay and looking for these cards in singles and trying to bid on them and win them that way. And I think that's a good way to go about it. But it's all preference. So you could open the newer ETBs and be blown away by them. Today, for example, I opened this Sword and Shield ETB right here. It doesn't have the plastic on it anymore. I keep it on the shelf just as kind of a reminder and a placeholder. Like, hey, you opened this ETB. It was pretty good, but it wasn't crazy. The same way I keep one of my Celebrations ETBs up there. I was able to get the plastic on it, so it still looks really good. But I open that and I keep that here, as well as the Ultra Premium Collection box. I keep them there to remind me you have opened a lot of money in terms of this stuff. So it might be better for selling and collecting purposes to find the cards individually from people who got lucky and are selling the cards immediately. A lot of people pull these cards and they go to sell them and make money on them. That's how a lot of people think that they can make money in Pokemon. In my opinion, I think buying the vintage stuff, my main thing is vintage theme decks. I haven't done a lot on the vintage theme decks because before I started the YouTube, I had already amassed a large collection of vintage theme decks, but I just think vintage theme decks are the way to go. I think they're not being faked a lot of times, even though one of my videos was uncovering the Shadowless Gold Strip theme deck, and finding that I got duped and that it was not Shadowless. I got my money back, so that was okay. But I'm always uncovering stuff. And what I like about the theme decks is a lot of them haven't been faked. You get into those high $3,000 item theme decks and you might find that. But for the most part, they run about $200 to $300. If you look up on eBay, Pokemon theme decks, you will find a lot of the vintage theme decks that I sell on my Mercari. Sometimes they'll be overpriced, and sometimes you'll find them for $30, $40, and that you can buy and sell for $100 plus right now. So if you're looking for stuff for quick flips, I really don't recommend the newer Pokemon. I actually recommend the older Pokemon stuff. It's more nostalgic, so people that grew up in the 90s just want it. It's not that way for a lot of the newer Pokemon stuff, especially the decks. They are not doing well. One thing that I've seen do really well is these ETBs. Again, I know I've talked about this a lot, but I think everyone in the community feels like these ETBs are probably the best value you're going to get because you get all holographic cards. Now, there are a couple that are really iconic, but for the most part, you get a ton of these Pikachu full art. Look at that holo. It's just beautiful. And these are very common in this set. And I just think that's amazing because I would stack up hundreds of those. I love them. But as far as the newer boxes, you know, I opened a Dragonite V box today, and I opened that Sword and Shield ETB today. And honestly, I other than a couple other ETBs that I might open down the road if I order them, and maybe a booster box here and there, I just don't see myself opening a lot of these products because I think it'll affect the value. And I have too much money invested to be able to do that. What I will do is consistently talk about the game, talk about where I think it's going, talk about it as an investment, and try and steer other people in the right direction because Pokemon can be extremely overwhelming. You know, you're bidding, especially if you're going to chase card after card, which, trust me, chasing card after card might seem daunting, but it's a lot better than buying booster pack after booster pack. Because the old vintage packs, just the unlimited prints, if it's base, $300, $350. You saw me, I've spent $380, $350 on 2 packs I just got. If it's jungle or fossil or rocket, typically if it's unlimited, $150, maybe $200 a pack. I mean, it is just getting more and more expensive to go for the packs to try and pull a holo card. So I don't recommend it. I stacked up 2 boxes full of several different of the early sets. That was just the easiest thing for me, and it was still very expensive. I had to bid sometimes on multiple cards because I kept losing other bids. And sometimes I got stuck with 2 or 3 of the same card because I was bidding so hard trying to get that card. But even me paying for 3 Giovanni's Gyarados that are, you know, semi-mint condition, that for $40 a card pretty much, $120, that's how much you would spend on maybe 1 pack. And you probably wouldn't even pull a holo in that 1 pack unless it was heavy. And if it was heavy, which is a whole other discussion, we weigh our packs in Pokemon. Now that has changed with the newer sets. It doesn't really seem to matter all that much unless the weight is really different. Because you've got those full arts that are really heavy with the holo foil, with the, you know, heavy with all that shine on there. It adds weight to the card. So I have all these scales over here so that I can weigh out the packs for the older stuff. And just so I can keep data for the newer packs. But for the most part, it's so expensive to collect Pokemon right now. It's really sad because there's a lot of kids out there that probably would like to look into some of the older stuff. They'd probably go, man, look at the Pokemon that they released before I was born. They used to have the coolest looking older Pokemon, and those are the ones that are going up in value. And as people like me get older, we get in our 30s and 40s, and our tax bracket increases, our income increases, we have salaries, we have real money that young kids just don't have access to. So we're blowing up the hobby even more, like I have here with this whole collection. You know, and I love it. It makes me really happy, but I don't like where the market is going in terms of how inflated it is. It does suck for some of the newer players that are getting in, and some of the nostalgic older players that want to recollect everything. So to you guys out there, new or old, you know, whether this is nostalgic or a whole new platform for you, I really don't recommend going after opening a bunch of products and opening a bunch of boxes. each to his own. We're going to open a ton of stuff on this page, but I am looking out for everyone's best interest. So that being said, I think that the Celebrations box is the best box that you can get. They're on eBay for about $50 typically. You can buy a bundle like I did. I got 3 for I think $130, which is a little bit less than MSRP. And there could be something up with that. I think we're going to open this one, despite what I just said about having sealed products, because, well, there's a lot of these. There are a ton of these still floating in the market, which makes it really easy to open them and have some fun. So for products like this that are $50 that you can open and probably still get $50 worth of cards, or at least 20 bucks, get half your money back, this is the way to go. I think you could definitely get something good in the booster boxes. I also think some of the single packs are the way to go too. For some people, $4 a pack is really expensive, but more specifically, so you've got these packs that are on the hangers that, you know, if you can get from Target or your local GameStop. I opened 7 of these on the super ultra mega awesome pack opening I did with Hallie, and then I did another one with Penny. But on the first one I did with Hallie, I only opened 7 packs, but I was able to pull this Rayquaza V. So 7 packs would equate to $28. This Rayquaza V is probably worth right at about $40 right now. So yeah, I can make some money, but would it be worth it to sell the card? Not really. I got very lucky pulling that card. And you know, some of us just are not going to be that lucky. And that's something that, you know, other YouTubers should definitely point out, is that we can't all be winners. It's just, it doesn't work that way. TCA Gaming does a good job talking about that, because he's like, you know, I opened 1,000 packs and to get 1 Charizard. So guys, I'm just going to order these online. And I think that was very good advice from him. You know, this card is beautiful. It's really beautiful. Now, my opinion on this little Pikachu symbol, I don't like it. I don't know if I'll ever like it, but it doesn't matter, because the holo of the card and the artwork is still original, and everything else is still original. These Celebrations, it is an improvement in a way. One, it gives you the mint card. 2, it gives you the original stats of the card. 3, it gives you almost an improved, really cool holo that almost always shines on camera. And this is behind the top loader, and it still shines a lot. And then one thing that I do like, I guess, about this little logo, this Pikachu logo, is that the 2 and the 5 for the 25th anniversary are also holo. But it's a beautiful card, and the fact that you can pull that out of a $50 box is pretty cool, along with other cards that you can pull. For instance, and TCA also pointed out this fact, you can get the Umbreon Gold Star. So this can be pulled out of this box. The Umbreon Gold Star is really beautiful. It's one of the few dark Pokemon in this box, in this set release, and they're going for around $30 to $40. TCA Gaming also recommended this one. I'm right there with him. I agree. This is a really, really cool art. And the Gold Star is cool too. Callie, get. What are you doing? Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I have to stop Callie. And then there's these 2 other big hitters that are really low right now. You know, I think these are great to buy because they're $6 right now. That's what I got these guys for. And they can be had for super cheap and probably pulled out of this box as well. I didn't pull them, so I ended up ordering them, but they're really beautiful. I mean, gosh, all 3 of these holos are just gorgeous. And the fact that they're the original cards and the stats are all the same, but they've got a slightly different holo, and they've got that 2-5 Pikachu logo on there. I really don't mind it. That's contradicting myself. I'm not a huge fan, but I don't mind it. And it may grow on me. If I had a huge stake in Charizards from the Celebrations, I would probably have a different opinion. But I don't right now. So my opinion is less biased. I do plan to buy a lot of Celebrations ETBs. I do plan to sit on those because I think this is a great sealed investment where anybody who buys it, even if they don't get some of the big hitters, they're going to be happy with all the holographic cards. But I do think buying Charizard and buying Umbreon are kind of the heavy hitters out of this box and the ones that you want to go for. There's also a Gold Star Mew that is on my radar, but I'm hoping I will still pull that card eventually. Anyways, guys, so that's a wrap. You know, if you're feeling overwhelmed looking at Pokemon products, that's okay, because we all get overwhelmed looking at Pokemon products. It takes some time to catch up with the game, but once you catch up, you're kind of caught up on everything and you can understand it well, and you can laugh at some of the inside jokes and some of the history of the cards. You know, that's what I love. I love being comfortable with this hobby now, where I know enough about it to watch all these videos and be learning more, but also be familiar with the cards they're talking about and the stuff they're opening up. There's so much in the game, and it's changed a lot. But for the most part, every booster box has something good in it, something really valuable. Every pack could have something good in it. So the potential of this stuff to go up in value, it's like another YouTuber said very well, Frosted Caribou. She's another YouTuber. She's really, really good. You should go check her out. She's very professional with her stuff and the editing. A lot of these bigger YouTubers are. It's something that I should work on. But she says, oh, geez, what did she say? I'm starting to brain fart right now. Basically, oh, battery. Basically, whatever you like, it's okay to go after it. And, oh, now I remember. The mystery will always be the same. That's what she said. She said the mystery will always be the same in those packs and those boxes. So even if I have V boxes, like I have 3 Dragonite V boxes that are sitting there that I'm thinking, why did I buy those? They're just not, they're not changing in value quick enough. That's true. The older stuff you could probably scalp a lot easier. But if you're looking into collecting and long-term sitting on like a hoard of stuff, once you get all your old collection stuff done, like I wanted to get all the displays and all the boxes before I, you know, started diving into the newer stuff, which is kind of on this side, while the older stuff is kind of on this side. That's just how I went and went about it. I really think that all the old theme decks that I've been buying, you can see a line of them there. They're all across here, but sometimes there's stuff in front of them. But I think those old Pokemon theme decks, if you can get them for 30, 40 bucks, and the holo card is still in good condition, you're mainly paying the money for the holo card. But you get a whole deck of cards in a box, which is kind of like nostalgia in itself. For example, if I'm going to send you guys in the right direction, I have to have a good example, right? So, let's bring out this Blaine deck, for example. I have 4 of these, or maybe 5 of these, I'm not sure. But several of them are open, used, and they're in really, really good condition. Look at this deck. Look at this box. You've got this card, which is the holographic in this deck. It's an Arcanine. Blaine is the gym leader, so this is the gym leader series decks. And this is Blaine and Blaine's Arcanine. And that card could be worth a pretty penny. If we were to take it out right now, look at this. It's in immaculate condition. I think I paid like maybe 80 bucks, maybe 100 bucks for this deck. I just sold one for 150, but the holo is in immaculate condition. And this is what people pretty much want to go for in these decks, is these holos. I think something like this could easily, right now they're, a new one sealed is about, they're going for a pretty penny, closer to 600 I think sealed, but for the most part, I think that a lot of these decks are worth 200 right now, especially the gym leader decks. You know, I know that that's a bit inflated, and I'm biased because I sell them as well. But any of them that you can find for under 100. The gym leader decks. There's Jungle, there's the Fossil decks, Lockdown and Bodyguard. There's the base set decks, Brushfire, Overgrowth, Zap, and Blackout. All of those decks, typically, if you can find them under 100, I say it's a good deal if the cards are in good condition. If they're sealed, 200 and up all day. If they're exclusive, like you've got the Misty deck, any of the Gym Leader decks almost, but Sabrina, Misty, Blaine deck, Lieutenant Surge, those are some big hitter decks that are easily worth 400, maybe 500. I'm seeing a lot of them posted for 600, 900, 1,000. I don't think that's necessary. I think that's getting a little crazy and very greedy, quite frankly. But that's what the prices are for those. So I figure if I have 100 theme decks that are old and used, and I got them for $30, $40, $50 a piece each, maybe 100 max, one day they're going to be worth a couple $100, and those sealed versions are going to be worth 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000. And I'll say, wow, these are worth 500 a piece, and I got them for 40, 50 bucks. I think the trend is going to keep on going up. I don't know how it's going to work out with the newer sets. There are so many cards in the newer sets. It's hard for me sometimes to process. But you guys will have to find out for yourself. The mystery is always going to be there, so if you keep these products sealed, the chances are they're going to hold value well. Anyways, guys, that's my rant on collecting and investing in Pokemon. And I think we're going to do another video opening this because we've ran this video too long. But I hope you guys enjoy. I hope that helps. I might not be as articulate or have my points as ready as some others that have talked about this, or sometimes there's even a slideshow with PowerPoints on how to collect. But I just don't think that there's a way to properly collect Pokemon. I think everyone has different preferences. Some people might not even like Jungle or Fossil. They might or Rocket. They might specifically only want to go for base set cards, the first 150 Pokemon. And I have nothing against that. I do think it's fair to be open-minded with the hobby, because as long as you're supporting it, there's a chance that stuff will get reprinted and come out. For example, you have these big three here and the Celebrations that came out. You have the big three here in Celebrations, but these same cards are in the XY Evolutions booster box. If you don't know, a couple years ago you could get XY Evolutions booster boxes for $100, $80, whatever. I saw them and I thought, that's weird. Those Pokemon don't even look the same as the original Pokemon. But they have the old school Pokemon in those sets. They have them reprinted in a reverse holo and a regular holo. And then they have the mega versions. I'm not exactly sure, but Pokemon XY booster boxes are now like $1,000 or $700. But there's a lot of cool stuff to check out in the newer sets. For me personally, there are certain sets you want to look for. One of the sets that I bought, that I specifically sought out for the value of the cards, and because I really, really like the Rayquaza Dragon, which is this green guy right here, that's Rayquaza, which is really big in Evolving Skies booster packs as well, is all the different Rayquaza arts, especially, your Rayquaza V and VMAX and alternate VMAX. So this Celestial Storm booster box, I mean, these guys weren't going for a lot a couple years back, and only now, in the past year or so, gone up to $400 or $500 a box. I snagged that box for $400. Do I feel great about it? No. Did I miss out when they were cheaper? Yes. Am I going to miss out this time while all these sets are released? No. Have I pulled anything that's made me extremely thrilled with Evolving Skies and Fusion Strike and Chilling Reign and Vivid Voltage and Darkness Ablaze? God, that's 5 sets right there. 5 sets they've released recently. It's a lot. It's very overwhelming. I am very impressed. I will say cards like this Rayquaza keep me in the game and keep me in the hunt. It's really a beautiful card. And that's why I also love these Celebrations boxes. They come with regular TCG booster packs on top of the Celebrations booster packs. So you have a really, really good odds to try and get something good. Anyways, this video has been cut to 40 minutes now. I took up a lot of time. I really wanted to address a lot of topics, and I know I went kind of all over the place, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I appreciate the love and the subscriptions and the views. Peace out, everybody. Thank you for watching.